Testing 1 2 3
Started.
Testing 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wine Writers Wrap Up. We are on a roll. I think we are 3 for 3 for the last 3 months, so we are doing good. And today's topic is one that I'm pretty excited about, and it can go in so many directions. And I must once again thank Mr. Michael Kelly for submitting this topic because I honestly hadn't thought about it. And as soon as I read it, I was like, duh, it's a great topic. Why haven't we done this before? So the topic is social media and wine. So I kind of have dubbed it the good, the bad, and the ugly because I do think there's good stuff, there is some bad stuff, and then we've all seen some really ugly stuff. So before we get into the conversation, though, I'm going to give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves. So right now, Deb, you're big screen for me, so you go first.
I am Debbie Geocoendao. I am known as the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine blogger, wine writer. I'm author of Tapping the Hudson Valley. And I am a restaurant owner in North Wildwood, New Jersey, at Trio North Wildwood. And I'm a champagne specialist, important champagne. And I think that's probably about it. And I have, I will be in the, my mind is like blown away here. I've got so much shit going on. I started the
Wine and movies?
Oh, yes, the wine and movies at yes, but you go ahead.
Okay. But you did forget, you just won an award. Trio North Wildwood just won an award, right?
I did. Yes, we did. We won a bronze award for the best restaurant. So in Atlantic County.
Congratulations.
Oh, I'm taking the sherry course.
Ah, ding, 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 ding.
I'm flying overload here.
Okay. Michael, how about you?
I'm Michael Kelly. I write my own website, HTTPS, California Wines and Wineries. I'm putting on the 3rd annual now International Cab Franc Celebration. And I'm actually studying rosé all day for a major test, which is all tongue-in-cheek.
Maria?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria Ferraro Beardsley from Wine and Cheese Friday. We write about wines, cheeses, and places where you can find them. I am currently in Montana. That's usually the question. Still here, 2nd month, new walls, new place, but still Billings, Montana. And if you're curious about a wine or a cheese that is from here, that was our most recent entry. So check it out.
Awesome, awesome. And I am your host, Lori. My husband and I own Dracaena Wines in Paso Robles. And I am also the person behind Exploring the Wine Glass. And I am, let's see if I can remember now, Champagne Specialist, WSET Level 2, Sommelier Service, and just recently, Côte de Rhône Specialist. So I have been busy the last few weeks. So the big question, everybody, before we get into the conversation is, what are we drinking? So do we have other than water in our glass tonight? All right, Maria, what do you got there?
I've got a Malbec that I opened on Tuesday when I was doing a chat about wines of Argentina. So although I'm not usually a Malbec person, that's what I could find here in Montana. So here we go.
Very nice, very nice. Deb, what about you?
I actually was out at happy hour and I was drinking a Wente Chardonnay, and now I'm drinking Icelandic water.
All right, Wente Chardonnay is never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. And Michael, how about you? Scotch?
I'm drinking a nice 2021 apple cider.
Oh, you fooled me with the color. You fooled me.
Yeah.
Well, I am drinking Castoro Cellars. So I am drinking Paso tonight, and the reason why I am drinking Paso tonight is because I am very, very happy to be hosting this month's wine pairing weekend chat, which will take place on Saturday, and it is Paso wine. So, you know, I have a few Paso wines in my house. So that is what we were drinking. So this is a Chardonnay. So apple cider, water, Malbec, Chardonnay. Raise a glass. Let's do a slancha.
Slancha.
Cheers.
All right. Let's get to this topic here. Social media in the wine world. So, Michael, I'm going to go to you first because you were the one who presented the topic. When you suggested it, what did you have in your head of why you suggested it, and what direction did you think it was going to take?
Okay, so, well, let me start with that. I get very frustrated with when you post things and, you know, you usually have a tagline and then you have the link on it, and nobody ever pushes the link or reads the story. They just simply go and say, and in the story you're saying, you know, it's aged 24 months in, you know, French oak, blah, blah, blah. And then they go, how long is it aged? You know, and I go, read the story. and, you know, and I just, you know, and then people would say, well, gee, how much, sometimes you don't put, what does it cost? So now I'm very consciously putting down what is the list price at the winery on their website. And they go, and then inevitably, any story I do, 10 to 15 people write back, what's the price? You know, and I go, did you read the story in capitals? You know, it's like I'm yelling at these little kids. And so I think, but rather than pick out these individuals who do this stuff, I think the bigger issue is that there is this mass movement afoot from going from websites and blogs with content and what I call details and information to the TikTok and Instagram, and we're now getting everything in a pill form where you can't, you know, they want to just take one little pill, swallow it, and say, oh, I know everything about that particular wine, whether it's a Tempranillo or a Malbec or whatever, and not spend the time understanding what you're trying to convey to them by taking your time and writing information out. So I started doing a little bit of more of the deeper dive into what I call this whole social media. And it's kind of like, has anybody read Future Shock? Did you guys ever read Future Shock?
No.
Okay. So it's probably one of the best books, probably one of the 10 most influential books I've ever read in my life. And it was written back in 1970. But it talks about how the amount of information has just expanded exponentially, and now people can't keep up with all the information. And that's even before the internet was out in 1970, okay? Now you add the internet on top of that, and there's some, I mean, it's 400 or 500 pages, but it's a great read. But I had one quote from him. And it talks about how the whole society is moving to a throwaway society and a transitory way, and there's just too much cognitive overstimulation, and people can't digest as much information that's out there, be it on social media, TikTok, you know, whatever. So they're going for the simplest, easiest way, and they're taking, you know, like a little baby food, and they can't handle the meat and potatoes. No offense, Lori, okay, for that. So, so I had a couple of quotes here that I think it kind of expresses my thought. There is a book that, again, a great book called Mr. Blue, written by Miles Connolly back in 1928. It says, the printed word has ruined the intellect. It has given fools and fiends the same power as wise men and saints. It has made a jumble of the mind, a burlesque of reason. No one any longer knows how to think clearly and cognitively to a finish. And I think there's a lot behind that comment. And then I'm going to give you a couple of quotes, and I'm going to tie in my own thought on it. Another guy, Os Guinness, the option now is not one-dimensional uniformity, but multi-dimensional over-choice. You have to think about that. I'll repeat it. The option now is not one-dimensional uniformity, but multi-dimensional over-choice. And so people are just flooded with so much information, it's hard for them to comprehend. And that was Os Guinness probably in 1971, I think. And then Soren Kierkegaard in 1847, he says, reflections must not so much move, mollify, reassure, persuade, as waken and provoke men and sharpen thought. Well, you can't provoke and sharpen thought with a TikTok 3-second video of somebody. That just doesn't make sense to me. And then Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, my thought is that it's the opium for the one-dimensional, non-thinking masses. While a picture may be worth 1,000 words, it's simply given. If the response is simply to give a thumbs up or down without comprehension through investigation of intent or reasonableness. And to end it, there was a quote by a guy, Halford Lucock, once said, we are going to have eyes the size of cantaloupes and the brains the size of peas.
I don't see a lot of that.
Huh? A big part?
Debbie said she agrees with a lot of that.
Yeah.
When you look at it, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's scary is you look at those dates, and each time it was a new media.
Right.
I'm not sure about the written word one, but it was new media to them. As new media comes along, there's more coming in and less that people are absorbing. But that is it. I'm going to go, let's start off with TikTok. Okay, let's start off with TikTok. So who is on TikTok? Is anybody on TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok, but I'm not
active.
Yes.
Okay, same with me. I am on TikTok.
I don't have the stuff to be active. I'm not sitting there. I have no means to do all that shit.
Right. I don't get TikTok. I don't get it. So I'm active. I mean, I'm not active. I'm on it because a long time ago I was told whenever anything new comes out, claim your name so that nobody else takes it. So I go and I claim my name. So Dracena Wines is on TikTok, but I think I did one, what is it called, one thing, and that was it. And I followed a couple of people, and within 2 days, I was exhausted watching these people do these things. And now we're kind of just still watching TikTok because now you take your TikTok and you move it over to Instagram. So let's go with TikTok. Have we viewed TikTok? What are our thoughts of TikTok?
I can say I've never even gone on it. I have a niece who is going to be 16 this year, and I know that she's on it, and that I see her in the corner of my eye, making all these faces, and she says she's making TikTok videos, but I have no account. I've never been on it. I don't know anything about it. So, and one of the reasons I was so curious about tonight's discussion is because I know that we had another one where we talked about millennials and wine and trends in wine and whatever, and none of us are going to go out and announce our ages right now, but we know that none of us are the TikTok generation. So, I mean, I think that this discussion from the four of us is just going to be really interesting because, none of us are millennials. None of us are really like hip, trendy social media masters, probably.
Michael's like,
I don't know, but I mean, maybe that was the wrong statement, but you know what I'm getting at. So
does TikTok have a certain generation? Because I see all kinds of stuff on TikTok.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Am I on TikTok? No. Have I done stuff on TikTok? Yeah. But not like other people, because that's just not me.
When I looked at TikTok, to me it was, first of all, I found out about TikTok from my students, and because when they were supposed to be doing one thing, they're sitting there doing their dance for TikTok, and it seems that it started as dancing. Everybody did dances, but now it's a whole bunch of different stuff. And my question is, right, so it is like a 3-second or a 5-second thing, I think, right? So how does that sell wine? So that's what I want to talk about, is like can you see, and this might be the most difficult avenue to go because none of us are on TikTok, but how does wine and TikTok come together? What we see or what we think of TikTok and our impression of wine, is there a confluence there? Is there something that...
I mean, I think, like you said, with the dances, now that I'm thinking about it, I have seen some snippets that say, like, TikTok in the corner. So although I'm not seeing it from TikTok, I am seeing it from other places. Right. But it seems like it's a lot of, like, just like to Michael's point, it's a lot of fast-moving stuff. So, sure, like, in the idea of you need to expose people to your brand 8 times, 10 times, whatever, it is another exposure to it. Is that where the people are that are going to be buying your brand? I don't know, but I mean, it's probably not a problem, like, to just make a quick video clip across, scanning across the bottle or whatever, and then having it on there, and then the bottle dances or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't know. I would see how it could catch people's eye, but I don't know. I mean, what is the other value? I think that in a lot of the social media avenues, that's the value, is that people see the bottle, see the brand, see the person, and then relate it to, oh, I've heard of this before. Maybe I need to look into it. I don't know.
Right. So it's just brand getting your name in front of their eyes, and if they're somewhere, they go, oh, I've seen that label before, or something like that. The problem that I find with those 3-second or 5-second things, which, okay, Maria, that was an awesome concept, right? Here's a bottle, make the bottle dance, da, da, da.
Right.
That doesn't take me 5 seconds to do. That's going to take me like 2 hours to do.
Right.
To like get that video to do that. And I don't know how much time these people have on TikTok.
Right.
Are they legit just taking that little bit of time to do that? Are they so awesome in front of the camera that they're doing that? Or is that 5 hours of their life, of which I don't have 5 hours of my life to make a 5-second video.
Right.
But I don't know. I really honestly don't. Kind of like the Social Distortion movie, we don't know.
I don't know. To me, like, I can't even do reels on Instagram. So if we jump over to Instagram, because we all are familiar with Instagram, we jump over to Instagram, those reels, like, it takes me an hour if I try to do a reel. Because, and then the dog is barking, or you're doing this, and then, what song do you want to go? And you're thinking of what song you want. And all of these things come in there. And I just think the people who are really good at that, the reels, have a team that are doing it for them. I don't think it's a small business where it's me doing every single thing behind the scenes. But
so my question is, how many people watch the reels?
I have to admit, I do watch the reels. I'll sit there and I'll get into a zone and I'll start watching the reels. You know, but there's certain ones, like, they pop up. I get a lot of dog reels. I'll watch a dog running around and jumping all over the place for, like, you know, when I'm in my little zone. I'll do that forever. But I don't see reels of wines. So that's,
well, I have a question then. So I'm on Instagram. I think a lot of us are on Instagram. But I like it for the post aspect. Like, looking at the profile and seeing all of the pictures of the wine bottles all in a row, that's what I like about Instagram. And lately, I have a new handle, and it's for my travel blog, and it's blue bag, red bag, because it's our 2 suitcases. So I've been trying some stuff out for the travel stuff in addition to the wine stuff. And I've done a few stories recently for the travel one. And I actually was just talking to Neil about it, and I was like, Neil, all right, you watch stories on Instagram. I don't, because I'm like, I'm bored. I don't really care if I want to see all these videos. So I don't watch the stories, but here I am trying to write the story or make the story and assemble it and whatever. And so are the stories and the reels the same thing, or is the reels something else?
So, just Maria, is everybody else getting an echo with everybody, or Maria?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I do hear it right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear it.
Yeah. So, reels are short clips. Reels are TikToks.
Okay.
Okay. So the idea, I think you can do 5 or 7 I don't know the time, but like when you push the button, I can record this one thing and then let go of the button and then record another thing, and then so that's how the people, like, here I am looking all horrible. I just got out of the shower, right? And then I flip my hair over and I flip my hair back and I'm all beautiful. Okay. Those are the reels. They're shorter. Okay. Stories are 15-second segments.
Right.
But you can add the segments together. So you can make it, you know, and that's where if you're looking at Instagram stories, up on the top, there's those, you know, if it's only one, it's a long bar. If there's lots, then there's lots of little bars. So they are different, but the reels, they go into separate areas.
Right.
But both stories and reels, you can choose to have it go into your into whatever they call your
the highlights or whatever.
Well, you can choose highlights, but you can actually have it show up also in your feed, like all of that. But you can say yes or no to that. You can say, you know, teaser in the whatever they call that. There's a special name for it. So they are different, you know, reels, stories, and then there's IGTV, you know, which is
done.
So I do a lot of IGTV. So whenever I get a wine sample, I try to at least introduce that wine to my followers, because I may taste the wine, or there might be something that I don't, you know, I'm not going to write about, but at least I got the wine in front of them. And the other thing is it gives that company, it gives that winery, you know, at least some exposure. They always get some exposure. So that's an IGTV for me.
So, Lori, on this, I've not seen one of your IGTVs. So are you showing a bottle of wine?
I talk about the winery. It's a very brief, like 2-minute thing about the winery, and then it goes into my whatever this is called, that post thing. So I'm trying to look for one that is. So if you look at somebody's feed, okay, so this is okay, so it's a video.
Right.
And now what happens is it gets stored as an IGTV, but I tell it to show a post.
Oh,
So
okay.
if somebody sees this, they can click on it, and then it's like the first 10 seconds is the video, and then you have to click on it, and it will take you to my IGTV. So a little longer format. But so what do we like about Instagram? Go ahead, Deb.
People click through and watch the IGTV. Are there analytics on that?
There are analytics. If you're a business account on Instagram, you can get analytics on everything. So let me see. So this one has had so it's got 322 and 91 actual interactions, and then it breaks it down into how many people that interacted with it were my followers versus not my followers. It actually shows you how much of it was viewed. So they watched, you can see if they watched 5 seconds of it, 10 seconds of it, 100% of it. You can see all that. But you have to be a business account on Instagram in order for that to work. And then it does tell you if you got any followers because of it and things like that.
And what's the business cost on that?
No, as long there is no charge for it.
Yeah.
Well, you said you
set up the account, I think.
Okay.
Right, when you set up the account, and you can change it at any time. If you just set up an Instagram account, you are automatically a personal account. And then if you go into the settings, you can say change to business.
Mm.
And then once you change to business, you get the analytics, you get other things that you can see. So if you are trying to promote something, if you're trying to sell something, whatever, then I don't see a negative to being a business.
Well, and I think one of the other things too with when you're declared as a business or you're a business account, I think in that case you can have clickable links, but it was something like you had to have
10,000
a Facebook store also or something. You had to have some other aspect of it. You couldn't just have it click to your website, which for me, that was why initially I thought Instagram was like, oh, well, everybody's making such a big deal about it, but if what you want to do is promote the stuff on your website, like Michael said at the beginning, which direction are you going? Are you doing Instagram because you want to do Instagram, or are you doing Instagram because you want to drive traffic to the website? And in that case, if you can't put a link, then, it seems counterproductive at that point, because it's like, well, nobody's going to go to my site because they can't find the link.
Right.
Which, is in the profile, but, go from there. I'm sure you guys have thoughts on that, too.
It's not a live link. It's just you have to type in HTTPS, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, this goes on to saying, is it Instagram that we're looking for? Is it Facebook we're looking for? We have a blog. Is that what we're looking for?
Right. So I think that's the main point right there, Debbie, is what is your goal as an individual or as a business? What is your goal?
Well, not so much what the goal is, but where are the people that are following you?
Right. But I think the more time you spend on anything, you're going to get more interactions. But so I have 2 Instagram accounts, right? And so my Dresita Wines account, which I wish was the bigger one, right? I have over 10,000 followers on that. So I do have the clickable links. I do
Right.
have what used to be swipe up, but now is no longer swipe up. It's now a sticker. So I can send people to my website. I can send people to whatever URL I want them to go to. And it does work. People do click, and people, because I can see where they click. So it does work. But I have 10,600, over 10,000 followers, and I get about 100 likes or whatever per picture, sometimes 40. And it blows my mind. I have no idea what makes the difference. Where Exploring the Wine Glass has 8,000 plus followers, but I get over 200 likes and, more interaction, more comments with Exploring the Wine Glass. And I don't know what makes the difference. So that's my next question is, what makes you stop for a picture on Instagram? Because, as opposed to just swiping like, what makes you stop and actually look at a photo?
So is the question, are they liking the content or are they liking the photo?
I don't think you really know.
You don't, but that's a great question. So what do you I think Michael is asking, what do you think? Do you think they're liking the photo, which is an excellent question, Michael. Are they liking the photo, or are they liking what you say?
I think they just like the photo. They don't care. Nobody's looking at the link. Nobody's reading it.
Nobody's reading it.
Like I said, that's why it's annoying when you can't even put the link to the entry, because people are like, oh, cool, Maria posted another picture of cheese. I'm like, yeah, but I wrote all about that cheese also. It's not just like I want it to be a nice picture, and sure, when you look at the profile, they're all nice pictures. Like, any of us, they're all nice pictures, but it's like, yeah, but if we're doing all this time writing about it also, like, somebody, please, and I think, like I said, for me, that's why you want the traffic to the website, because then if you have Google Analytics or whatever, you can see where the traffic came from and that people are actually reading it. I mean, I've been doing Wine and Cheese Friday 8 years now, and I'm like, how do I ever know if anybody is even reading anything? And that drives me crazy. And I don't, I'm going to self-proclaim right now, I don't like social media. I get mad when I have to go on there and like things and post things, and I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get people to read my stuff, because if nobody's reading it, then why am I writing it? So,
bingo, we have a winner. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the point of this whole thing, and why it's frustrating, and it sounds like you're as frustrated as I am at times, is that you're taking hours. I mean, some stories take an hour, some stories take me days, depending on the amount of time and effort and all this, and yet all you get is a thumbs up, and then if they do make a comment, it's the most idiotic comment because it's already in the story.
Yeah.
The information that they're asking, and it just like, why? So you know that those people are just simply liking the picture, and then there's other people I know, I could swear that they just gave me a thumbs up because they like the picture. And then they make a comment in detail about the text or a question that was in the story, and I'm like, hallelujah, I got one person today to read this. So,
So I think when I first got onto Instagram, I was the old fart in my building, and my colleague who shares my office with me I taught her, so that's how much younger she is, right? And she was like, you got to get on Instagram. And I was like, no. And then she was like, get on Instagram. So when that happened, I remember it was about the pictures. There were you didn't write anything underneath the picture of the Instagram. It was like, if I took a picture of a sunset, oh, pretty sunset. That was what you wrote. And then the key was the hashtags. That was the big deal, with the hashtags. But now, it's like writing a mini blog. It is a mini blog. It is no longer just, here's the picture. So it is frustrating that it takes me almost an hour to do an Instagram post for, for Dracaena Wines that's one thing, right? I'm trying to promote my wine without shoving it in your face. That's really my objective with Dracaena wine. With Exploring the Wine Glass, I'm trying to promote other wines, other wineries or whatever. And I have to say it's really frustrating that I take the wine, you sent me a sample, so we all receive samples, right? We all receive samples. How frustrated do you get when you take the time to write a legit blog, or that hour it takes to do an Instagram post, you've got just the right picture, and then the winery that sent you the sample doesn't even acknowledge that it's
right.
there?
Oh, it pisses me off. No, I wouldn't say, I don't want to be so cruel, but when you tag them, they could at least give you a thumbs up.
Right, right.
You know, I mean, at least an acknowledgement.
Right. I mean, I see it from both sides. If anybody tags me in a post, I am on it as Dracaena Wines, right?
Mm-hmm.
As Dracaena Wines, if you take the time to post a picture of my bottle or, you know, whatever it is, you're drinking my wine, I am all over that. Mm-hmm. I am cross-promoting that. I am acknowledging it and thanking them for sharing it, and I am shoving that picture anywhere else, right? It does go into my story. It goes into my feed. It goes into everywhere. I don't understand the purpose of a winery sending out samples and then not
mm-hmm.
acknowledging when it's posted.
Right.
So when I get samples, and I try to stagger them out during the course of doing a story on them, one of the things that I do is I send it back to either the PR person or the media person, or I send it to the owners, or I send it to the winemaker, and I say, hey, I just posted this thing. It got posted to 65 plus blogs. It got posted on my social media. It's on my website, and I give them the link. And unbeknownst to me, when as I'm sending out invites to Cab Franc celebration, I got on some of these websites and looked at their blog information, and my blog showed up there on about 10 or 15 of these guys, but they never told me that they were posting my excerpt on their blog. Now, there's another 30 or so that I do know that they posted my story on their blog site. You know, but the communication is not crisp. It's not a positive connection on both sides of the equation.
Right, right.
Okay. All right. So, just the general concept. Do we like Instagram? Do we see a positive? So all right, let's go back to TikTok. Is that the good, the bad, or the ugly? Maria, good, bad, or ugly?
I'm not weighing in because I've never used it.
I have a few things on TikTok. Most of the stuff that I've done on TikTok is just like savoring and stuff. I'm not a dancer. I'm not any of that. So I would have to say...
You're a dancer. Come on.
So I'd have to say, a no on TikTok.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Instagram. Good, bad, or ugly?
I mean,
neutral.
I have to say...
I think you need a...
You need
Maria,
what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have to say, I like looking at Instagram. I like seeing the wine pictures and reading the wine stories of all the people that I'm following and reading about it. But I agree that I don't want to spend an hour writing that whole thing and then have nobody look at it or nobody comment on it. So, I mean, I guess it's mid-ground, I'd say, for me on Instagram.
Okay. Deb, good, bad, or ugly, Instagram?
I think it's good. I think that it's a place that you need a presence on because people either they're scrolling through the feed or they're going through the stories to see what you're up against, what you're doing.
Okay. Michael, good, bad, or ugly?
Yeah, I call it fairly neutral. I mean, it's like, it's like a pretty girl that you can't date. It's it's kind of like you see a picture of a nice piece of, a meal or a wine or something. You go, oh, that looks really good, but then there's nothing behind it. You know what I mean? There's just it just kind of falls away to me.
Okay. I personally do like Instagram. It gives me the ability to do a lot shorter than a blog. You can't write a blog about every wine that you drink, right? So this allows you to, okay, everybody but Michael can't write a blog about every wine they drink, right? So this gives you the ability to post the picture and talk about the winery a bit, and give the information that you want to give. So I like Instagram. I like Instagram. It's frustrating, and it's annoying that you can't talk to anybody in Instagram when, a few years ago I went into Instagram jail for absolutely no reason whatsoever. They said because my pictures were against, or they said I was using, I was getting too many likes. I was liking too many photos, but I was physically the person liking liking it. So that's very frustrating when you go into Instagram jail. There's no human being to talk to. So I'm going to go with it's good. But my next question with Instagram, and then we'll go on to another topic. What is with, and I'm going to say it outright, what is with the boobs and the wine?
Oh, my God. Today I was just looking at someone's thing, and Neil had his headphones on when I know he can't hear me, and I'm sitting there just like, and I mean, that drives me so crazy, and he knows it drives me crazy, and I'm like, look, I don't care. Like, 3 of us are females. We don't need to be like leaning over our wine glass. It's just not necessary. But people do it, and they get a lot of likes, and then it drives me crazy.
Michael, are you going to buy a wine because there's cleavage in the image?
Absolutely. No. In fact, the guy that has, I know he's one of your great followers, Lori, Stephen, was it McConnell down in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
He is on a tirade about this all the time.
Oh, is it?
And
okay.
That's his number one thing he cannot stand, and it's kind of bothers me when I'm working on putting content, and I get a couple of hundred likes or something on a story, and some gal, and I'll call her a bimbo. Sorry, ladies, but I'm just going to call her a bimbo. It's showing some cleavage with a glass, and she gets 2,000, 4,000 likes, and she doesn't. And the bottle is not even shown. It's just a glass, and she goes, "Oh, this Pinot is one of the best I've ever had." And whose? I mean, there's no story, but it sells. And and again, if you look at advertising, and I guess a lot of this is simply advertising, sex sells.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's very frustrating because it's, as a guy, I'm not going to be holding up a glass of wine on my hairy chest. I don't think that's going to get a whole lot of likes. And and if that's what it takes to get thousands of likes, I'm doing something wrong here.
Right.
And I think that's part of why Instagram was trying to take away the likes and take away that stuff. Is I just don't understand from a business from a business aspect. I don't understand how that sells. I don't understand if I'm going to send a sample to somebody, and we are stingy with samples because we are so small, right? We can't afford to send out samples. I want somebody who knows wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I want somebody who can appreciate the wine. And I'm not saying that these people who just expose themselves on social media don't know wine, but they're it's like the old school of playing the dumb blonde, right? If I'm dumb, boys will like me more type thing, right? It's kind of like, I'm not saying they don't know wine, but they're not presenting it. They're not presenting themselves as as knowledgeable. And I guess maybe that has part of it to do with me, because I'm always, I feel that, my career has gone, up, down, whatever. And, right, so I go from microbiology and 2 master's degrees in science to teaching phys ed, because that's what I like to do, right? I enjoy phys ed, but then I get the dumb jock, right? And it's very frustrating to be thrown into the dumb jock category when I'm a jock, but I'm not a dumb jock, right?
Right.
So I guess part of it is it's very frustrating to see these women who are just throwing themselves out there. And if they know something, then show that you know something. Don't act stupid. But that's my personal opinion.
And I mean, I think that one of the things about it, and the first time I heard this, I thought like, oh my God, I have to commit that to memory. But I was looking into social media and trying to learn more about it, and I was in like some webinar or whatever, and they used the term "some stopping moment," and that was when you're scrolling through, what makes you stop and look at something. And
cleavage.
If you see boobs, yeah, you're gonna stop. Like, and I mean, it's just annoying because, like we said, those of us that are trying to spend all this time writing everything, but all the people are seeing are the pictures, and so they don't care. Like, they're like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, shiny. Like, I mean, it's just annoying. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you have to figure out what the thumb-stopping moment is, I guess. And I was just like, okay, well, now I'm annoyed that I know that term, but it's so appropriate. Like,
yeah.
And you can't, and if you're concerned with it as a guy, it's I mean, I'm just on the wrong side of the equation.
Yeah. Well, you could show other stuff, Michael.
Well, yes. But I have to find it, number one. But number two, the reality is it's a no-win. I can't come out against that as a guy because I'm gonna get chopped up in pieces.
Right.
You can't go out and call them bimbos for doing this, because then I'm going to be a sexist and everything else. But you can't. But there's really no content, and there's nothing to retort back to them saying, "Hey, interesting wine. What do you know about this wine?" Or I mean, I would love to have a conversation with one of these people that did this. Because I'm convinced that they go, "Well, it's white or it's red," and worst case, they might say it's pink. But I mean, I just don't understand. It would be a very interesting conversation, I think, to have with, and there's about 24 of these ladies that are out there doing this, and I don't know what their end goal is, their game plan.
I think their end game is to get free wine and free trips. I think that's what their end game is. But who knows? That's what I'm saying. They may be educated in wine, but they're just not showing that they're educated in wine. They're not, So anyway, so our last, well, there is Facebook and Twitter. So let's go to Twitter for a brief moment. Who cut their teeth on social media? I guess probably most people cut their teeth on Facebook, right? And social media.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we still on Facebook? Do we spend time on Facebook?
Yes.
I went on my Google Analytics for like 3 minutes before I got on this chat because I had meant to do it, and then I was like, oh no, I have 3 minutes, so I can look. And the thing that I always find really weird is that on my Google Analytics, people that click my Facebook link get to my website more than Pinterest or Twitter. My Facebook numbers are always the biggest draw to the website. And I don't feel like that's, when I'm in Facebook, I don't feel like it looks that way. Because on Facebook, I'll feel like I get like 3 likes on something, and then on Twitter I'll get like 12 likes. And I'm like, okay, so it seems like Twitter is my thing that draws people to my website, and Twitter is my one that is the biggest one. But then when I see that the actual traffic itself comes from Facebook and not from Twitter, that always surprises me, because I feel like I do Facebook just because, okay, I'll do Facebook also, but I want to do Twitter. So, I mean, I know you said choose one or the other, but that's kind of my running mental argument between the two of them.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of feel like you have to do both, because you have to, like when you do the Instagram post, you have to put it onto Facebook and you have to do the Twitter. Because I'm not sure where the audience actually is today. You know, are they on Instagram? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook?
But that's what Maria is saying, is she actually understands Google Analytics. I attempted to learn Google Analytics at the Google Academy, and I ended up cheating by Googling the answers to their tests. So that shows you how well I did. So I don't understand Google Analytics, but that's what we need, you know. So you're seeing that Facebook is your best place, right, even though it might not look like it by the numbers on
by looking
that
at
social
the numbers
media.
On exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So people might be, you know, like on Instagram, they're liking your photo, but they're not doing anything. On Twitter, they're liking that post, but they're not doing anything. On Facebook, they're not bothering to click the thumbs up, but they're clicking your link, and that's the important thing. Right. It's really not about the numbers. It's about who goes to your site. Right.
Exactly.
Right. And Michael, you were like, yes, you are on Facebook. Are you on Facebook just posting your posts, your blogs to those groups, or are you legit on Facebook and you know you're following friends and you're commenting and doing all that stuff?
Yeah. So my first thing when I write a story, I post it on the website, and then the link goes on to my Facebook page where I've got 4,500 people on Facebook, and then it goes on to then I have a blog on Facebook, California Wines and Winery, which is another 3,500 people. And
so
then
you have a page of California Wines and Wineries, and then you have a personal page of Michael Kelly.
Yeah, and they're kind of all jumbled up. I mean, I don't put anything personal on the wine site, but I do put personal things on my personal site. But I also put all the wine stories on my personal site.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when you do the Instagram, you can in fact so one of them you can click and it will also go to Facebook and Twitter and everything at the same time. So I didn't even know I have a Twitter account. I didn't even know I had the app on my phone. I don't even use it. But it goes, every story gets posted to Twitter, but I never even look at it.
Right. Okay. Okay. So Deb, what about you? Are you active on Facebook, or are you just posting to Facebook?
No, I'm active on Facebook. I'm active on all three that we talked about: Instagram, Twitter. Not so much Twitter. I kind of like put a back seat on it. I don't want to say put a back seat on it, but I'm not as active as I was before. And I also see it like from the wine perspective and the restaurant perspective, that I get more
interaction
through Instagram than I do through anything else.
Okay.
On both the restaurant part and the wine part. But I continue to do both. And I continue to do Twitter too, because, that, quite honestly, Twitter is what brought me into the wine world, so.
Right. Yeah. I think we all recognize that social media can be good. And the other thing is we're all small people, right? We're all, we're not these massive corporations that have people, some people have social media that focus on Twitter and then another person who focuses on Instagram. There's only 24 hours in a day, and we all do other things other than whatever we're doing for social media. We have other jobs or we have other things that require our time. So I think you have to divvy up where you are. So my last question before our riddle is, if you had to choose one social media avenue and you had to give up all the others, what would it be and why would you stick to that one? Okay, so Debbie, go ahead. Which one would you keep and which one, why would you keep it?
My gut, I'm going to go with my gut. My gut tells me to go with Instagram because there's a lot of functionality between that. There's the, the stories, there's the live, and I get a lot of interaction on that, more so than I do with others. So that's...
All right. Instagram it is. All right. Michael, what about you? If you had to pick one social media avenue, what would it be?
Easy. Facebook, because Facebook is also there are friends, there are people who have established themselves as following wine. This is on the blog site either on the blog site or on my friend's site. But I'm assuming that my friends are not going to have eyes the size of cantaloupes and brains the size of peas. I think my friends are more intelligent than that. And so as a consequence, when you write something, they typically do respond.
Okay. All right. And Marie, I think I'm going to know your answer, but you may surprise me.
Well, and I was just going to say, I think it's just coincidence the way that this is flowing through 1, 2, 3 people. I picked Twitter because I like Twitter. I like Twitter a lot, and the main reason is the Twitter chats. I mean, there was a point where I would do like 6 Twitter chats every week, and I would be, not because of Michael's reasoning with the pea brain, but I would have cantaloupe eyes by the time I was done with those Twitter chats, because I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm like amped up right now and I don't know what to do. And like, I mean, it's just the energy of it because you're going through and you're answering questions, and like there were a handful of them that I got to be like the main person. So I was answering questions, and it just, the interaction of it for me has always been the most on Twitter. I mean, I feel like the other ones, I post them and then I'm like, something might happen, something probably won't happen. But on Twitter, typically I get some sort of a response. And even if it isn't in the Twitter chat, like I'll get, a handful of likes or whatever. But I mean, for me, hands down, that's the one I like the best.
So I used to do all of those Twitter chats too, but they seem to have, at least for me, they seem to have dwindled. There's just not as many of them anymore. So I enjoyed the Twitter chats. I loved the Twitter chats because it was it was like talking to somebody there, and it was fast, it was slow, and honestly the hour would go by and you'd be like, but that was good. Like, it was cool.
Right.
So I understand the Twitter chats, and if the Twitter chats were still as active as they were, I probably would pick Twitter. But I guess I've got to choose Instagram. I have to choose Instagram because that's where I get the most comments. That's where I get the most interaction. But on the other side, that's where I'm spending more time these days. So, right, I'm spending more time thinking about my picture and thinking about my post on Instagram.
Hear you.
Did I go?
I don't know. Did you guys hear? My internet might have just flaked.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
I just missed it. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I just was saying that's because I'm spending more time on Instagram. I'm spending more time thinking about those pictures and thinking about the posts that I'm writing. I'm spending almost an hour a day interacting with other people, so they're interacting with me. Now, if I did that on Twitter, maybe it'd be the same thing. But so I guess I got to go. But it is interesting. Yeah, different people, like, you know, are finding their things, and I guess that's why there's so many different avenues out there for people, right? Just like there's so many different wines. There's a wine for everybody. There's a social media for everybody. So, all right. I have a riddle, and it is a tough one. It is tough. It is tough. Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay. A man pushes his car to a hotel, only to find out that he is now bankrupt. What happened?
Oh, play Monopoly.
Oh, Michael, that's it. That was so fast. Good job,
That's
Michael.
awesome. Yay, Michael.
You dethroned Maria.
Yeah.
I'm one for 400.
You made that seem simple. Oh my gosh. That's awesome, Michael. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So I just have one last question for you, Lori, before you, because I know you want to wrap it up now. But my question is, how do we as writers make the social media work better for us?
Michael, if I had the answer, I would be selling a buttload of wine and be having thousands and thousands of, you know, followers on my channels.
I think we got to
focus the world.
I think we got to focus on what works for each individual. Like, as much as, you know, I said, you know, Instagram works for me. I do post on Facebook and Twitter and everything, but I think it's focusing on where the conversation is at for you. I think, yes, you do have to do more than one, but focused on where the conversation is.
Excellent advice.
That's my opinion.
Yep, excellent advice. Focus on one and bring in the others. Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go around the house, and I will give you 1 minute to wrap things up for yourself and tell people where they can find you or anything new that is exciting in your life. So again, Deb, you're big in my picture, so you can go first.
So I'm Debbie Geocoendao. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. You can find me at HudsonValleyWineGoddess.com, HV Wine Goddess on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm owner of Trio North Wildwood, and we're having a Bubbles and Birds dinner on December 9th. It's 5 sparkling wines. And just go to our website, TrioNorthWildwood.com, and you can probably also find it at HudsonValleyWineGoddess.com. And I'll leave the rest to you, Lori, and you can find Lori's wine at my restaurant.
Awesome. Thank you. And Maria?
Maria Ferraro Beardsley, Wine and Cheese Friday. My social media stuff is Wine Cheese Fry or Wine and Cheese Friday, depending on which one you're on. Not a ton going on as far as up-and-coming things. I am wrapping up an entry that is one that always takes me a long time to write. We get together with some family every year and do an enormous wine tasting, and this most recent one was 9 wines and 6 cheeses, and I'm like still typing, like, okay, I can do this. So that'll be our next post. But yeah, wineandcheesefriday.com.
Okay.
Thanks.
Michael?
Yeah, so for me, it's the website, CaliforniaWinesAndWineries.com. I have a blog on Facebook, CaliforniaWinesAndWineries.com, or blog on Facebook. And then the Cab Franc celebration, this will be our 3rd year of Cab Franc celebration. It's going international this year. We've already received entries from three different countries. and 50 wineries. And we've got wine tastings and appetizers one night, one evening, a wine judging one day. Lori is pouring Dracinia wines on Wednesday night, April 6th, 2022. And on Thursday, we are having a winemaker's dinner with Pam Starr, Steve Marisu, and Lori Budd, and featuring their wines for this event. So we're going to have the tickets don't even go on sale till January, and I think we're already sold out, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Yay.
Yeah.
And I am Lori. We are going to be at the Garagis Festival this Saturday, but this podcast isn't going to come out till after that. So the Garagis Festival is Saturday, and we will be again hosting Saturday morning Paso Wine Pairing Weekend, and come find us on social media, whichever channel you like. We are there. Find us. We are getting geared up for a Cab Franc Day, and we will be releasing our reserve on Cab Franc Day. So that is exciting for us, and I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm sure there will be lots of wine on the table and cheese. And
rosé
on every table but Michael's. So have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining me. And I am out of my glass, but slancha.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.